energy. So Bonaba focus on electricity. So Uta a presentation on the bill. Then Ntate Bulumke Nelana, DGG Warona in the province. Uta refer presentation on the views that department on the amendment of the bill. So Ntate Nelana Kyodutimo Haufilina on my left, Utamalinta Temponawa, Batako department in local provincial government Yarona. Then Tate Joseph Kyoka Moraitiaka, Utako National Department Minerals and Energy. Then Renali House Victoria, receives a Mo legislate Momo committee, Kiana refang support Mo committee. Then Renali Tate Tabos Kosana Kyolo Wipitile Kwakalibot, active Wipiteman, Liana refer support in the committee. Then we have everybody that is here, the Hansa team, and the team that is also capturing us and Barkenyamo TV. Take our fella, all of you are most welcome. We're hoping that we'll have good engagements going forward. You have been given these things. So kutoko palidi kopanseling tokaring mic, akitse tokaring cell phone. Tapo e kana moto namo. Dieta gore le gono utlwa ha re bua. So utlo di kenya mo, o di kenya mo tsebeng. Then dina le di languages that different. How we kwento we kopantse e leng 21. Ina li English wa press you for 1 ki English, go 2 ki Afrikaans, then 3 ki isiZulu or isiXhosa, 4 ki Sesotho le Sepedi, then 5 ki Tshivenda le Xitsonga. So these are going to help you really follow when you go to meeting. Harifeta meeting. Harifeta. Kupari di seeing. But now to a gate ya mokayona. Aisa sibita. It's activated to receive a camo fail. So if you try inka or I uchai city, I know bereka of itakohai. I know sebeta if itakohai. So please, after the meeting, the team will come around, collect. But those of you who are able to, please leave them on your seats so that they can collect them. So 1 is English, 2 is Afrikaans, 3 is isiZulu and isiXhosa, 4 is Sesotho and Sepedi, and 5 is Tshivenda and Xitsonga. So you can move around those numbers. For you follow a language, you understand. I can't remember what is Koma 40. So until they say that Koma, when we try to Sesotho or the Zulu, you understand. Then you are able to follow the proceedings. It's a meeting warona. So come on, you are most welcome. Kita kopantate Joseph for the presentation. Then let us write and let us not disturb him as he speaks. We will ask questions and engagements at the end of the 2 presentations. So nekoko paringwale bali file di ball pen into tsa ngwala kere aba lefa ala ka le tsona tswa ko hai nna ke meeting ke tswa kontlong ke nka bukana le ball pen wa bana ke nkile le buka ka ke tshwere le ball pen gore ke kgone ngwala mane ke go ba re mamele ge gore re tlo kgona ba botsa dipotso tse right di program tse ba le fileng ngwalang le mo tsona dipotso tse le batlang go di botsa le di suggestions on the amendments. Re ba di dipotso fela. Re batla le di suggestions and your comments on the amendments. At the end, we will indicate hore batho ba leng gore ba kgona ngwala ba ngwale ba romele kae and up until which day mo re tla bulelang hore di submissions tsa lona di kene on the amendments, because tlamile re lo reporta rona ko parlamenteng after di kwetsu mo rona. So as we go to the end of the meeting, we will be able to tell you hore romela di comments ko mang le di romelle ka letsatsi le feng. Tra utlwana ke re batho ba go gae. Ke a leboa. So re ka kopa Ntate Joseph a re fe presentation. Le ready for yen? Le ready for yen? Le sure le ready? Okay, Ntate Joseph, batho ba go Soweto ba re bua le wena, batho ba Gauteng ba re bua le bona. Bua le bona hantle, ska bua English le lona e complicated a kere. O bue hantle nje, re kgone tsamaya le wena. Ke a leboga ba gae. Oh, Thapelo, okay, ra leboga mama. binang se fela kante Dithabe- Ra leboga mama lo re hopotsa ra leboga Ntate Joseph, you can do the presentation, thanks.
Thank you, Chair. Dumelang community ya Soweto. Lehandle. Ke a leboha. As introduced, Chair, lebitso ke Joseph Maraba, ke tswa Department of Mineral Resource and Energy nationally. Ke rona ba leng responsible for this bill. Before nka kena mo the provisions tsa bill, I believe it's important hore ke fe background ya hore bill e tswa kae. From 2006 to date, ho fihla kajeko, re bua ka 18 years, the electricity supply industry e regulatwa ke an act e bitswang the Electricity Regulation and Act number 4 of 2006. It regulates, if inga borrow a simple word, it controller the supply side of electricity. So it's an act that is existing. Today, it's a bill. A bill, it means only certain changes, it's already proposal on an existing act of parliament, in the supply industry ya electricity. Before kikena mo the provisions, it's also important we must understand bill there are certain factors that already develop. From 2006 to 2024, Tabazam have changed, if I was to put it simply. Tabam class it changes. Class also 2006. Escomo in a little challenges. High challenges, that means Ronaval responsible for energy security. It becomes a concern because Mklahazi plays an important role in economic development. It's easy for you to attract investment into your country. How's not enough Mklahazi investor there at Hava, that means job creation becomes a problem. So from 2006 to 2024, we have gone through that road. Re tsamaile tsela eo ya hore ho na le di-challenges tse re tshwanetse re deal le tsona. And one of them, eba yone ya energy availability factor. Horare Eskom generation, ya pallwa ku meet the requirements that demand on a day-to-day basis. Hence, re bona ho na le load shedding. Akere la understand load shedding e mina. Horare motlhase o fetlhilweng le o batlehang ha di tsamaisana, ho na le gap. And it's being a trend for the past 15 years where the demand, the supply side of it has deteriorated. Percentage ya teng e dropile. That means hore Eskom ha sa kgona producer at the required level ya the supply side. One of the challenges in the industry. Another one, which is a big one, cable theft, vandalism, electricity infrastructure. Another, the second one. And then the third one, which this one is a global phenomenon. There was an agreement where we the Paris Agreement, climate change. So climate change, there has to be few things. There is the planet because I pollute. That is just the juice of the Paris Agreement. Then pollute the planet, then we must use green energy. PV or other technologies in coal. So on that background, if you take those challenges and those developments, from the government side, the policies are on, they are outdated. I about those things because load shedding is everything. Now load shedding thing, resolve our young load shedding. Government must intervene. Then Eskom, ya the challenges, resolve our young Eskom, the challenges tayon. Government must intervene. Again. So government intervene, government intervene in different layers. It's either government introduce a program to deal with that policy or with that challenge, or government can review an existing law who yet or deal with the challenges currently. Or other measures dealing in the hands of government. Government can then activate those measures or deal with the problems. But a bill does not solve load shedding today. It elevates the future where we are going. It doesn't solve load shedding kajego. It tries to solve some of the issues dealing with Eskom. It also says maybe it's time Eskom make a competition or really want to produce some class. So you get background there how bill to a guy and then why today really present a lion. Ki prepare a presentation, says ki feel a background there. Get la jampela go the public hearings that were undertaken by Parliament. Bile, it was first, Rona is a department because we are the responsible department for electricity policy. Ka 2022 February, Harfetza who amended this act, we took it out for public comment. It's part of our day-to-day job. The current challenges and situations we face. So, 2022, February, we issued this bill for public comment. Yeah, and that period ended around March the same year. Then from there, it went through another process. Yeah, ra thola di submission, people responded ba bang in writing, and then after that the same bill ya re ka di 26 tsa September ne setse re submitile ko portfolio committee ya mineral resources and energy le bona ba etsa their own public consultation, and then from there ba thola close to 7,011 participants on all over the 9 provinces. And out of that, 70% ya bona ne ba re ba e supporta, 15% ya teng ba sa e support, and 5% e nngwe batho ne ba se sure hore e bua kang this bill. So from there, ka di 14th of March 2024, it was adopted by the National Assembly. Now, motho a ka ipotsa hore pila bill e batla ho achieve. A ke re molao ha o passiwa hona le ntho e tshwantse yo achieve, or hona le ntho e tshwantse e enable hore e etsahale. So the main purpose ya bill is to amend e ne ke bua ka yone ya 2006, because dilo di changed. The electricity supply industry has evolved. Ka sekgowa ba re has evolved, ra re ho bile le diphetoho mo mengwaheng. Ha e sa tshwana like the 2006 one. Ka mo hara yone bill sekgowa se ba se ngwetseng is meant to make sure hore again now this industry changes. Hora rona le batho new role players, new participants, new technology, new companies. So in terms of improving the administration of the act, bill improve hore who must do what, when and how. Agree ke yone control and the supply side of electricity. It's a hatella mo hore no, even though the industry has evolved and only changes, control your industry must still be maintained. Now ka one hona le new participant, those participants ba ka sno fitla ba iketsa ka mokgwa ba batlang. It's a empower the regulator le minister to make sure hore this industry is regulated, but at the same time re try to solve other underlying issues. Mathata na re nang le one ke mo re provider for additional electricity, new generation capacity and electricity infrastructure. Yeah, 2006, NESA provided for additional electricity, new generation capacity, electricity infrastructure. There's an existing one year, 2006. NESA provided for these 3 interventions. Habe a provider for the establishment duties, powers and functions here, TSO. Ka 2019, Department of Public Enterprises issued a paper by the roadmap for ESCOM in a transformed electricity industry. That paper, however, it documenta or it tlhalosa mathata a ESCOM kaofela. Hore ESCOM as we speak is very unstable. That document it details mathata a ESCOM. However, the very same document hore ESCOM relukise 1, 2, 3, 4 tshwantse re di etse. And one of the things, the first step, that paper for ESCOM re tlose from this unsustainability to stability. Re tshwantse re establish a company. There has to be a company that is called the Transmission System Operator, SOC Ltd. It's a company that is within an ESCOM, 100% owned by ESCOM and fully regulated. Hore agre ESCOM in a generation, transmission and distribution as we speak. So bare matata or the new business model ya ESCOM hore zo mo mathateng a yona ko re tse transmission re etso re itekemele. Ke tla ke le fa le reason why ba re itekemele ke yona the first step ya hore re ka lokisa mathata a ESCOM. The reason why Bahrain established and then it camel core transmission because Eskom ya pallo gore fa mtlhase at the required rate. Baba khonang go thusa Eskom in generating electricity. They are now allowed to hore ba tle go transmission ba rekise mtlhase wa bona. Le utlwisisa a ke re Eskom ya pallo gore fa mtlhase at the required rate. Then a transmission system operator by establish as the first step your stabilizer Eskom your solve mathata Eskom as the first step for Eskom e kry thuso until solve mathata yon our generator our ba le motlhase. Now ha re Eskom e batla thuso, the only thing that paper says gore Eskom e tla ba le a platform or more anyone who are generator a kaya a rekisa motlhase wa hae gore Eskom wa o rekise or a rekisitse nna le wena if re nya go reka motlhase o. It's all from the Eskom roadmap paper ya 2019. And if it's all it will provide for an open market platform that will allow competitive electricity trading. The platform we told go transmission system operator. John, during the process, I amended this bill. I read the 2019 paper ya Eskom, the transmission system operator must be established. Eskom paper Eskom as a company. It was established within Eskom. Harubuaje, exists a company. Kamahara a Eskom. Marka one rona necessary a bill for public comment. Libitore le nervisa company kalona nerergi transmission system operator SOC. Irle Eskom establish a company by register as by visa the National Transmission Company of South Africa SOC Ltd. So those two it's just the name Nelimo billing le Eskom ibitang company ka yona. And also more billing it will provide for delegation and assignment. Later on a provider for offenses and penalties and provides for transitional provisions. Hagi kena mo billing e bua ka di provisions a ke batle le stress ka gore provisions again a ke re le tshwere bill ba le file copy ya bill le na le ona copy ya bill aba ne tlo ba simple because a ke re provision 1 ne ke tla no re ya go page 2 ya bill le bona page 2 I amend the definitions. Hey, for just this process so that this got to Hagere clause 1 seeks to amend section 1. From page 2, 3, 4, and 5. I get la bona hore bona le di definitions mo ba auxiliary services. Ko the 2006 o ka se ithole auxiliary services. Now more this one thing. So clause 1 amends section 1 re bua ka di definition. So every definition every letter or sentence or paragraph by underlining le or argue the new insertion. From page 2 until page 5, la di bona definitions those definitions ne di se teng ha o ka lebella the act ya 2006 a di teng. The reason why re di kenya is because those definitions you'll find those words ka mohara di provisions tsa di bill. So ha o tlo bala bill kaofela o tlo tlhakana le mo ba buang ka auxiliary services, o tlo tlhakana le mo ba buang ka balance responsible, o tlo tlhakana le mo ba buang ka balance responsible party. So re etsetsa hore ha o tlhakana le those words ha ka mohara bill e bang o thotse hore e mean that word. So it's there for you to make sure you understand or have a balance responsible person. Then area go clause 2 of the bill, it amends section 2. La bona mo page 5. Koma felong kwa, ona le paragraph, la bona page 5. Mo page 5 mo. Ki amendment of section 2 of the act. Mo ibuaka the application of the act. Ka mo the 2006 heading ya amendment ya section 2 ki the application of the act. What is the application of the act? That section ibua hore act e apply mo boma e affecta boma ma. So ki mo itlo tlhalosetsa hore no how bala molao does it affect me? How does it affect ESCOM or does it affect municipality or who does it affect? So that's where we get the application of the act. Ki mo itlhalosang hore molao o affect amang or o apply mo boma. Then area go clause 3 in the bill 6 to insert section 2A. Page 6. Laibon again, application of the act. Laibon application of the act. Agar ki wile gare now dilo di change it. Baba nchaba batlang mo industry ya rona. Ne ba se teng mo the 2006. So now ra Kenya. Any person ya tlo ba montsha in the industry ya electricity supply na se teng go 2006 act. So now ra ba Kenya. But however, hona le ba bang even though re ba Kenya, this act based on what activity they do does not apply to bona. Ka 2019, the Department of Mineral Resource and Energy amended Schedule 2, the same act, 2006. Schedule 2, ne ere, ka 2006, hona certain activities, tse minister aka di exempta ho tshwara a license ya ho etsa motlahase to transport lo distributor motlahase. Those activities ne di tswile under schedule 2 the very same act. The last page here, the act 2006, that's where the exemption is. We issued that schedule re-exempta if wena ko jarateng yao ona le solar panel. O te kenyeditse solar panel, ha o need license ya hore be le solar panel. Re-exempt agere that solar panel ke ya hao e supply ya wena agere then ha o need someone o thola license from someone hore be le panel go motseng wa hao o e berekisang for your own backup motlhaso wa ona e le wena o berekisang ha o need license. 2006 ne bua ka certain activities. Mari practically just means that if wena o tsenya di panel in your home, you don't need a license. Mari di panels are how they must be. Whoever will install on those panels must make sure that they comply with the technical requirements. You connect to those panels. Agro connect to system in your maspal or ya ESCOM. So how connect to must make sure who connect to the right wires, or adhere to the right technical requirements before we enter those panels. So on this section, before 2006, no was not that category, no was not the panel. Now, from 2006, the load shedding to date, but what the gains are the panel. I get about one about the generator class, so there's no need to about total license. But yet, it's a guy, the generator in Tabo. Those panels, I didn't have any issues. It got cost to the national grid if they are technically sound and they were connected by qualified people to already connect. So, because now you are a new player, again now we get it, I was rely more maspa. You are a new player, so we exempt from holding a license because your panel is your own investment and we use it for your own use. But other who can the panel or generate them class enough for your supply. O supply among a duty guy, Joan. Agree we were not weekend or load shedding. Again. Now, load shedding will cover the maronale extra. What happens to that extra class? As an opportunity, you are register away. Opportunity again. Then that opportunity means we can use our own investment for benefit in the long run. When this act haiga pasa, there will be opportunity or you can will the power you generate in your house to any person who you from where, or you go exit a mass pala or back to ESCO, and you get compensated on that one. How you get compensated is something that it will be communicated in due course, given or there has to be a threshold and there has to be published tariffs. Say, my price or our excess back to ESCOM, this is the price or this is the price, our excess come maspa. Who are you now in the industry? I grow a new player now. You are playing a role. Like one or where do you fit more to ordinary person who fit a guy on that thing? Then load shedding, that's why in the long run we can solve load shedding, because then everyone will play a role in the supply of electricity. Now, when you get the Gamorata, I get this industry will only control it. Give my control and this, give my regulator and this industry. Kineras. There's again a regulating industry. The price ere patela yamuchas. Before rena re patel or regamchas. That price kinersa I melang ESCOM apply a level the application ESCOM then I know go for this increase. Then re no nersa. The power station analysis on the 2006 one. Nedisa weekend nalwena babana le panel agere. Nedivelete maspala le ESCOM le di import and export le ba never involved more the export or import le ba never trade aga electricity. Then now Ronald in the space we are able to generate ilerbato regis. Mar hartletse gamo then no, nersa, because none to control this industry. Rofa the powers are all level about one lurona, Bawancha. Hore, Rescatilla, Melawel in the industry, because I wrote Sela Melawele, Rakakosang, unintended consequences where there are only a lot of issues. Got the system itself. Then no, a rofe mata or no, how did I live in Chava? Ohono dilalibona, ro guide or no, delay young level. So, in terms of clause 4 and section 3, that's what we do. Rebuaga scope, our extend the scope, the regulator, and then also how level section 4 kise scope we are licensable activities. Now, sorry, now, I get ESCOM established a company within your visa transmission. Now, that company in a lead activities, 2006 Act, national those activities. I get a real level ESCOM LY. Now, the transmission, only the activities change. Then that means those activities, ESCOM we got until a license. I get every activity ESCOM a license to do that. The new activities ESCOM going forward. those activities, tshwantse di thole license. 2006 Act, national those new activities. Then you no, re tshwantse re go the scope ya those activities, re tsentsetse. No, before ESCOM, no matter what transmission, you care how I own these activities. Before the ETA, to apply license, go guy, corners. So that one is just the Ibuaga clause 5 to extend the scope of licensable activities in terms of section 4. And then Habere no, ESCOM, irrespective of industry, your main or your core mandate is to make sure that you regulate prices and tariffs. Because if ESCOM does not regulate prices and tariffs, in the scenario, in the situation where we find ourselves in, but we can manipulate our price. Nalo ena le chomi aga le mama ngori meeting. Reka itlela ka price. Ra charge about to that price. And I want to talk about it next. More no. Nersa, ra empower or we must also look at this issue of price and tariffs, especially rona var supply and ESCOM libo maspa. But other than naloena, when on ali di panele, what lorixetan. Agree an agreement between Naloen. Naloen agree on a different price in Garaga electricity. More nagayon. Outside ESCOM ole maspa. Give a bilateral agreement or a direct supplier agreement. Aggregate butega now Nalo and already prayers. Who can the panel in your house on a lesser plus. Now what Lorix says na surplus. Nersa again more. I go Rick says not direct. Can nagi kidumelam price what Lorix says again. So that's where we draw the distinction. As long as Hosanale price and then Hosanale ESCOM le maspala supplying electricity, regulator must make sure or regulate price and tariffs that are charged to the customers who are supplying ESCOM le maspala. Section 4A kaofela and habe before how only a dispute between nna le maspa before nersa nena le matla fela o etsa our mediator that dispute fela rona re no what if go mediation ha rutlwane nje re no to make sure a process is fair reintroduce an arbitration process or no nersa must also have an arbitration process after if we go mediation. Go 2006, nefela ga nersa can mediate fail. Now no, if what if batho ba utlwana go mediation, aye arbitration before if it court. So go on section 4 e go fela, and then I go section 6 of the bill. I go back go the bill itself. Page 7. Like one the regulator must come bold brackets again. And then after that may by underly require a licensee to establish and fund a customer or end user forums. Must the name means or the regulator must do that. So no, I from where we sit, I a must. Or if where possible and practical, the regulator may is a discretionary provision. It used to be mandatory for NERSA to establish the customer forums. But because of the nature of these customer forums, it's not practical for every corner of our customer forums. So I don't know where there's a need for that. ke mo May e tsena ko teng kore when is practically and feasible the regulator may request nna as a Eskom or masipala ho ba le custom forums. Ke clause 6 e amendang section 262. Ha re ya ko 7 ke the activities requiring a license. 2006 activities that require a license. Actually, the 2006 Act era, no person may, without a license issued by the regulator, undertake the operations of generation, transmission, distribution, import, export, and trading. Here, in the electricity supply industry, if it's not licensed, o ka se dietse, o ka se generate mtlase, wa distribute. Now, Eskom in a transmission, and then go transmission, only new activities that they must make. It's in Chagar. So more than expand that scope, we have those activities. They battle license before graduates. That's where a market operator and system operator. Key amendment there, section 7. And then in terms of clause 8, the amendment section 8, those are textual amendments, did cross-referencing. Then our jump back on 9 is explain or no. Go 9, go 2006 Act, go 2006 Act. No only section A buanga registration. La opola ke le botsa hore no nna lo wena because re na le di panel a re batle license we must just register. So mo ba explain hore no even though nna lo wena re register re tshwanetse re register whether or register depending on capacity how big or register your PV hore wena in your corner or generator. I get about the license to register a fair. When we register that we know how thing will exist. Before go 2006, in a certain that expansion or activities steady lungo schedule 2. The minister and the power to issue a notice. Need is detailed. Need know what they trade. Then schedule 2 all the activities they require only registration, not licensing. So we're bringing them to the main act. Because all it does is to expand that section to include making that distinctions of activities that needs registration and that registration in a fee attached to it. And then that registration also in make sure that our technical codes and rules are adhered to. So registration it means that you must pass the test even though connected those panels in your house, technically, the sharp, the gas fise, the transformer, the gas is the next. Section, clause 9, amendment section 9. And then in terms of section 10, section 10, 11, 12, 13, go to page from page 8, 9, 10, and 11. You work a process, you apply for a license. Go further those sections, the amendments are there. They clarify the process, you apply for license. Before, I apply a NERSA for a license. It will take you 120 days for your application. It's paid to do. Or babua name go ena. Hore lead objections, you made sure we publish it, and then how we publish the language that more that license apply and go them, but what thing by they understand those languages. So after you have gone through this process, with the publication, or no information how sensitive and commercial, but I say publish. NERSA had 120 days to process your application. Maru utla challenge mo guy. That 120 days, but my counter the day who submitted everything by batlang for that application, your license. How apply la for license kajeko? Wale wa touch, for example, a certified copy how 120 days I see tomu count. But lo phone after a week, bare ulibetu wa touch. ID copy, twanzo wele mora wa touch ID copy. By share application, maybe ba le balo ho check or sign it, awa sign. Twanzo khutlele mora o sign. I see by touch application aha. I get like one process already. Until bona ba no everything is right. Bona ba starta wa addressa or bona ba starta o level application aha. La bona re into it will take you years and years just to apply for a license. Now, this amendment, it's the sections they go fail. It will go fail all those sections. It's trying to make that process very simple. From 120 days to 60 days. That 60 days, 30 days, ke the day by a processor. If on a little objections, banally 30 days, ba or no more placing on honalwa to Bahanang, Horoka, or Tola license at that place. About 30 days to respond to that thing, to those objections. The same year advertisement, 30 days, the languages are more apply thing, the people language they what they understand. So we have shortened that period to deal with those challenges. No, an application license cannot take for you 2 years. It's also within a space of 60 days. If you apply for a license, it's supposed to be a 60-day process. From the day you apply by advertiser, ba boela mo wena or ba offer ba ofe or ona le objections le ro dile ka tsone ba boele back mo batho ba objectang ba utlwane then come back and make a final decision. Bana le a period target ya 60 days. So in terms of those sections, tse ka kaofela tse ke di buile kaofela tsone the explainer and then the trial quality gap on those process ya license application. Then I jump because then it covers everything until go page 11. Go page 11, it is like a section clause 18. 2006, because the regulator NASA did deliver to our register nalwena. There was no provision here. What if I register my registration? I decided not to comply. Let me allow anything for registration. 2006, NASA empowered the regulator outside that registration. Even though you are a registrant, Marva told her no, in your connection or wherever you are, only to NERSA can cancel that registration. So, in session, and then that section expanded to cover that, but revoke that registration, and then what the reason that's why I revoke. Then those reasons they must also be in writing. And then area go clause 19. Clause 19 who are how renew a license. This one apply more ESCOM more Maspal. Hore. Before the 2006, NESA recognize transmission system operator licenses. I get an EDCT, kilo zerinch. So more at least more no now the renewal ya license ya apply mo tse ntšha tse di tlo etsang ke Eskom transmission di na le di valid that renewal ya those licenses di na le a 20-year period. And then it will cover import and export and market operator and system operator. However, one of the most important things is when as a license holder, o ka se no tsoa today wa re wena o nyaka go fa nna license. Just like that. Agri license o ithotse ko NERSA. O tsantse go tlele ko NERSA. O ba botse gore wena the conditions or the activities tse no tsantse di etse under this license di a o palla. O kopa o busa license back go bone. Then bone ke bone ba na le the authority ya gore ba either ho tsela yone boy from someone or ba etse and wait for a new application for that license. And then in terms of section 21, it bua ka the powers and duties of a licensee. More powers and duties to a licensee. The most important amendment to Mokore. Agri ke butso re na le wena re ka ba le di PV kometseng ya rona. But what if ke batla ho rekisa masepala hane ho re ke berekise infrastructure ya hae? Or Eskom a hane ho re o berekise infrastructure ya hae? More re Eskom masepala ha wa tshwana no discriminate. Everyone on a access to user infrastructure ya masepala le Eskom. However, I get to charge the certain charges to the toll or infrastructure one. You must be ready to pay those charges what to charge, but the bagaso hanet and then bagas discriminate against anyone about to use infrastructure ya one to supply electricity to someone as an area ya high. Maro to patela the charges ya infrastructure ya high. So section 21 the biggest provision hone mo ke yone mo e explain le hore o tlo ba le di rules tsa go guide batho hore ha ba tlo berekisa system ya masepala or ya Eskom ho etsa this business ya o tlosa mtlhaso from ntlong ya or ho rekisa ke di rules and which criteria it will be used. Those things will be publicly published for comment, and then the charges everyone will know hore how some system ya masepala ba o charge so how berekisa ya Eskom ba o charge so ke section 21 ka ofela yo. Then ha re boela ko the bill itself tse dingwe tse le di bonang under the underline ile or ka bo red or ka di bold ke di textual amendments ya line the bill. All the changes you do go one section or already affect another section. So you must bring them, could affect another section, provide clarity or alignment. But the biggest one I conclude which is the core, ya bill, section 34, go page 14. Section 34, go page 14. Section 34A, it makes it compulsory for Minister all our public enterprises. I get on the paper, 2019, our Eskom establish this company in China transmission system operator. More billing here then is mandatory or that minister I establish, says I establish it. So provision 34A is already established. And then at the same time, that section, the TSO functions, so it must provide those duties and functions that TSO. So section 34A. And then that transmission system operator must make sure that it provides an open market platform to allow for a competitive electricity trading. So what it does, empower Minister DPE or establish this company you said you'll establish in terms of your 2019 roadmap ESCOM. Make sure one of the activities your company it create a platform where we can go and trade electricity. And then it also makes sure the functions and powers this company is to make sure either the following activities. It will act as a transmitter, a system operator, a market operator, a central purchasing agent. So this TSO, this new company, Kamara ESCOM, in only those 4 functions. And those 4 functions, it is a license. Without a license, ESCOM has those functions. And then section 34B, they provide is a textual amendment where Kimoto Tolong or a transmitter. Pila activity transmitter again. System operator, to operator system. What are those activities day to day? Market operator, market operator, where's on a day to day? Central purchasing agents, where's every day? Section 34B, it provided the details. And also, a white paper on energy policy in 1998. In section 34. It was government policy, the way things are, 1998, one day ESCOM, Swanzerian Bandle, because dilo change in the industry. So as in to know, in the thing, you know, about corner now react time based on it. And then in terms of your section 34, before 2006, section 34 named Power Minister Energy Hore. In the case here, Honale gap in the electricity supply, I got issue a determination of quala gap. A determination gas Sotungarege. It'll double. Gore Minister onale power ya hore mo hona le gap ya motlahase. I issue a sort of a tender ya hore batho ba bid mo go kwala gap eo go ba le generation facility e ga generator the required capacity ya kwala gap eo a ke re ke le butse gore ESCOM a sa perform the way ne perform ka teng. So if load shedding it reach a certain point where ESCOM hopadi minister onale a power ya issue a tender ya hore hey it land to say ESCOM wapalwa for this amount of megawatts. I issue as a tender but ba bidder mo yone then ba announce the winner, then that winner is there ho kwala gap ESCOM e paletsweng or aisana yone that capacity. And then it also empowers the regulator. When minister adds all this determination, the regulator also has a big role. Also responsible or rather who issue that determination who win that contract. We are going to get a license. Where's that? 2006. Now, did you change it? 2022, Naloena, we can generate any capacity of electricity. La easy from 2022, Nalo alone, Raga generator, Motlahas, Naloena, if you're not le technology. The whole Mutlahaso supply and Maspal, Soweto or ESCOM, Naloe, without a license. The honor industry changes. Nalo and Arga is unto you. Or na Haginali Chelet, Kinaluatwa. Nga a generation facility. Ya o lekana. Everyone a le mo Soweto without holding a license. Ke mo re leng teng, that's how industry has evolved. However, molao ha o dumele hore nna le wena re ka fihla mo Soweto ra ha that generation facility ra supply batho ba Soweto. Mara ho generate re ka generate. So are re nna le wena re na le tšhelete, re na le all the skills, everything that is required to raise that generation capacity. E le kana batho ba Soweto kaofela. O isa ka ya o fetso generate. O e rekisetsa ma. La e bona re tla kae? O ka generate. Mara o ka se tle mo Soweto wa thoma o supply Soweto. It's not the right. Ya supply Soweto. That's where that transmission system operator company is very important. Hore before o ka generate is fine. Mara o ka se fihle wa no tsa batho wa re ke di customers tsa wa supply. Ha e bereke ka mokgo. So what has it done? Hore in the near future, taba ya hore motlhaso wa shorter will be the into a car. Agernalo, we can do that. If you're a taller investor, agarahela that generation facility, ravalem class. Now, reaga go transmission system operator no. Renalona class or what Lorigis. Rexes among transmission system operator, Elingo guy, go ESCOM. If you are ESCOM as our battle, Ragamozor no, Rutozi company X. Because it's all Limpopo, I'll mention Limpopo, Limpopo. If I do a recam class or generator, most of it. ESCOM, right? It's fine. If you don't loot one, it's fine. Very gisandi tapotaka, what's a may some class or get a charge us all. Like one or the landscape electricity supply, it changes the job. Can you change that? If ESCOM is improving itself to generate, especially the generation capacity ion, it will allow these gaps, this gap it translates to what? Opportunities. Kimo industry lingo thing. Right now as we speak, Retomo bona such transaction. Mawani Moditabing, I think those who read engineering news, there's a company, I won't call them by name. Go Free State, in a lead office Free State, in a lead office I think Cape Town. But I need that agreement or the office that one Cape Town. I just told you to load shedding. But user the tapota ESCOM, but the office that one load shedding, but we moyo. So those are the one in the industry it changes that's year 2006. Now in conclusion, Chair, I think the most important two provisions is the one that cable theft or damage infrastructure electricity. 2006, if willing full, not actually willing full, is an offense for motor or lawful so. A damage, a remove or a destroy any transmission, distribution, reticulation cables or equipment or infrastructure. It was an offense, and then the final clear on the act or final man. I get a good cable on Alum I rega. Hey, I get a cable, everyone out on cable, on Almo Regisa. I would for fun. So, ke utswa la ntshwara mara ke rekisitsa ke someone who benefited or ke utswitse act na isa bui hore o a rekang yena ho stopa ho utswa di cable or damage infrastructure especially electricity re now o a utswang lo a rekang ba fainiwa or imprisonment or both ha wena o utswa a fine $1 million or 5 years in jail or both, For Arekang, 10 million, I mean from 5 million, you can fit whatever amount, and then within a 10 years imprisonment or both. So more deal the challenges are no. It's easy for anyone to wake up or how like cable or damage a transformer. It's simple. It's like a normal thing in South Africa. So now we make it an offense and a criminal act or there's a fine, there's an imprisonment. And then the last one, Chair. I agree all these changes. So Billy from now, the day is signed into law. Renale 5 years, all these changes they're getting on this bill. The practically they are very good. Renale 5 years, that process. NERSA, Minister, basana the power to intervene if this amendment or these new things dipala, and then where there's a failure this new system. The Minister for Energy, the regulator, basana the power to intervene. Another power nersana leono gore. I want to know fitlang in this space but they will be there and they will still regulate the industry. But at the same time, hona little opportunities in the industry. Chair, I think with that, I've tried to run away from the lotus and tried to make it practical. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Akisa motla le matonyane. Oraga mutwa pele. We are joined by member Sizakele Nkosi Manubane. We did indicate to other members will join us as we started our meeting. You are welcome to have chairs. So we can move to the second presentation again. Can we move? Thank you. But I can't tell me I know I look to like it or Lamputor Joan. From Economic Development DGG to talk to us on the presentation as well. You are welcome, Ndatenela. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Good morning, and good morning to members of the Portfolio Committee. Molweni nani bahlali. Igama lam njengoba sekutshiwo ngubulumko Nelana. Ndisuka kwisicandelo le-Economic Development eGauteng. Owam umsebenzi namhlanje kukuhlomla malunga nebill ephambi kwethu egqitya ubekwa ngugxa wam osuka kwa-DMRE. Siliphondo okokuqala mhlali ngaphambili sithi anindiva. Okay, use your translator.
Hello. I can read the Harry Kalam Kopano Kimo legislature. How about the war Pamsanto? I can reach it. Or are we late? Emma Papa. We are not going to do what you are doing. It's very wrong. We gave you this. Don't you have this thing? No, that's fine. That's fine. Please sit. Guys, can we give him the thing? Pencil top. Pencil top, our one in that. You did not give everybody these things.
Take ours.
You can come take these ones. Come take here. Come take this and give to the old man there. Then, in a little channel, like a table. Okay. Table. Then, once you've connected it, ne? Once you've connected it, it has channels. Channel 1 is English. Channel 2 is Afrikaans. Channel 3 is isiZulu and isiXhosa. Channel 4 is Sepedi le Sesotho. Then channel 5 is Tshivenda and Xitsonga. So we are giving this so that when you don't hear, you are able to use these gadgets, Moditsebeng, and go into the channels. Can you guys assist them to scroll down to the channels, please? Vicky, tusa bontate mo pela ha mo o ba ise go di channeling.
Come on, side then, Auntie.
The channels are on the side. Please look on the side.
Oh, plus.
Ingwetsi 1, modi plus, na le plus le minus. So move those pluses and minuses, they will take you to the channels.
And then volume make a more left.
Then volume is on the other side, your gadget.
Why push a button?
Keep button inyana, so I scroll up and down. Lesotho I know. Ntate ka mogare ka mo le mothusi. Vicky ska feta. Victoria, come back. Come back.
Arusha.
Usapho ntate wa Cape mole. O right papa? Can we move? Thank you very much. Ungaqhubeka baba.
Thank you, Chair. See, Department of Economic Development, I support a bill. A bill is osiza fixa energy crisis esijongene nayo, such as load shedding. Kwaye i-bill also izasisiza ukuthi kubekho i-infrastructure entsha yo-generator, no-transmitter, no-distributor umbane. Ukwenzela ukuthi ama-losses due to electricity ehle. And therefore isave umbane. Okokunye ivula ispace for osomashishini bakithi nama SMMEs namanye ama-investors ukuthi angene kwi-economy yokutransmita umbane. Lento ke izokwenza imisebenzi ikhulise umnotho. Sithi ke kubantu bakuthi sicela ni participate kwezi opportunities. Njengoba my colleague besisho la ukuthi nani ningakwazi ugenerator umbane kwi conditions ezibekwe ile bill. Mhlali ngaphambili siya acknowledge also ukuba le bill ivula ispace for new players, ingakumbi in our case apha eGauteng apho sivene khona ukuthi makubekho i-township economic development, ukuthi new players zethu nazo zingacompete from ama-township ethu kwi-economy ye-energy. Okokunye le bill ilungisa i-role edlalwa i-regulator, icacise iyenze simpler i-role ye-regulation Sisakhalaza kodwa ukuthi isikhathi esibekwe ibill for approval of ama license siseside. Lento isenokwenza ama delays as they are currently with system yenersa. Enye into esifuna iqwalaselwe makubhekwe le bill ukuthi ayinayo imechanism yo protector individuals from abantu aba trader okanye aba supplier energy privately. Siyayazi ukuthi ke ma ushiwe wedwa as an individual ukuthi ma negotiate nomuntu osupplier yo iningi into enokwenzeka esile. So ngoko ke sisuggest ukuthi kube nendlela yokumonitorisha i-risk ye-abuse ye-system. Okokunye sisuggesta ukuthi makube khona indawo esinokuthi siaphile kuyo makunenkinga. Ngesingesi ke ophecelezi bathi ombudsman. But siya acknowledge ukuthi i-competition yona ibalekile kuba izothoba amaxabiso or prices. Ekugcineni si department siyayamkela le bill and sicebisa ukuthi i-views esizexpressile today maziconsiderishwe ukwenzela ukuthi ibe fair indlela implementwa ngayo le bill. Siyabonga.
Now it's your time to comment on the presentations and on the bill that you have. Ke tlo kopa member le tsi hore a manage the process. So are you going to go down there? Do you have a roving mics, guys? Roving. Oh, the community.
Okay. Dumelang batho ba bagolo le kae ke nako ela ya lena ya go botsisha dipotšišo mo le nyakang ditlhaloso le sa utlwang hantle le mo le ka nyakang go fana ka tshwaelo in addition to the presentation. A ke re le utlwile department e file ka di inputs, the views tsa department ya rena mo gae gore ba duma ge go ka diragala eng. Ke a utlwagala ke re so ke tlo kgopela matsogo mara ke tlo a tšea ka dibaka tše le dutseng mo go tšona gore go be le order kere. Ke nyaka go starta ka mo left row ya ka mo go na le batho ba ba nyakang go bolela. O tla ba number 1 abuti ke sa le mo wrong ke kgopela o ye meganyane. O tla ba abuti o bo emise letsogo abuti ka jacket so le tla swara dinomoro tša lena kere. O tla ba number 1 ntate o wa skipa se black and white. Number 2 ka isha letsogo la go fase mo wrong go na le mongwanya kang go bolela. O tla ba number 3 o si kwale ke sa le mo wrong so ke matsogo a mararo fela ka mo go ska ba wa go putsang go mongwe a fetse o bolela fila gore ena o nyaka go bolela ne re tšea ga 1 fela re sa tlo boa gape. And then 1, 2, 3 ela le ka nna la tla mo gore go ska ba confusion nyana. A re so bolele now e ba fela gore matsogo a lena emeletse. And then mo wrong o se no ye mistele tso go tla ba number 1 mo wrong And then number 2, abuti mo. A blue, a brown or what? What do you think? How feel camouflage or what? Number 2, abuti, yes. Number 3, abuti, yes. And then number 4, why a ready komarago. Kona le letsogo le lengwe gape ka mo. Ke re na le matsogo a i4 ka mo. And then re tla ka mo wrong not ka mo re sa le mo. La e bona go na le rombo. Re na le number 1, abuti dread o na le di dreadlocks. Number 2, OCS. Number 3, ka skipper se white. And then number okay the white it 2. Wa katiba ka e black ke number 3, and then number 4 ka skipper se white. Row fellets o gona le number 5. Ntate ko morago some next to wa katiba e white. Re na le 5 ka mo. And then re are to the last row. Ereke start ko morago skipper se yellow number 1. Katiba a black number 2. Number 3 black and white or navy and white. Now learn how feel yeah, number 3. We're now on number 4. Kaskipa say white, and then number 5. Are you confused? Li 3 mo le Mr. Matsogo li 3. So on number 3 ntate ka mo left. Ishale tsogo fast ntate ka mo ka stripes yeah. And then all latelang ke number 4. Ishale tsogo la go fast yes. And then there was number 5. And then black and white no Michelle tsogo kwala. O wakati wa no sa emishane, and then utlaba number 6 Osimo. Those ke matsogo a felletseng. O number 6 ke go notice. A go sana le tsogo le leng. A re bua gapa ke re ha rena gore mang le nna o ka re ha bolela o ka re nka bolela ne go re be le odanyana re gotsofetse ka mka ga rena ba remise matsogo ke a leboga re lo starta ka mo wrong number 1 wa rena ka starta
sanibonani igama lami ngonhlanhla uAndrew kaMandlazi ngibuya ePretoria eSoshanguve so mina iconcern enginayo ne ukuthi like mina for example kanje ngiyenze electrical infrastructure and construction esikoleni yeah but angikwazi ukuthi ngiyenze trade test because akunama sponsors angikwazi ukuthola umsebenzi because umsebenzi uscarce. But nginama ideas ukuthi electricity ngayigenerator kanjani nginezinto engakhona ukuthi ngizi-invente for ukugenerate electricity so bengicela ukubuza ukuthi njengoba ni-implementa le bill le namhlanje like for thina kanje like young people with ideas zokugenerate electricity kuzoba easy kangakanani ukuthi sibe funded because into esishayayo ama-funds yabo singaba na ama ideas size siguge sibe badala nama ideas because masizama ukuloku si-applya izinto azenzakala kungukuthi si-applya ngayo yonke into ephelele yabo so bengicela like usizo lapho ngiyabonga
yeah before what we two abolela are re correcting sentle ne re tlile mo re tlo consulta ka bill a ke re na le borakgwebo potlana mo mara today ha re bolele ka borakgwebo potlana re bolela ka bill e tswang ko national gore a re ka kra mohlaka se jwang la utla batho ba bagolo so abuti ke ba batlang ke gopela gore ge le na le di issues te le go bane di bolela ka kgwebo tsa lona re na le department ya economic development ka mo le kopaneng le bona today re nyaka le focus ko billing e batlileng ka yona gore ka lukisa jwang gore go se ka tlhole go e ba le load shedding as we have ke a leboga ntate wa ka
dumelang la ke nna se masango ke tswa go Winterfeld Tshwane in Gauteng ntse ke batla go botsisa man go utlwile the first speaker a bolela gore they invited new players ka mo gare ga Eskom so my question ke gore go utlwile ba re mo transmission go na le batho ba tshwantsho batleng. So seo se ra hore batla under consideration ya minister or enna batho ba private, because at the end of the day ne ke utlwa hore ba re NERSA ha e sana matla since 2006 ka hore hona le di-new players. So ha ke batla hore as South Africans re nne di-victims tsa hore after 10 years ba re batho ba private ba tsene ka mohara Eskom ha e sana matla. At the end of the day the new players by privatize Eskom, because it seems we are heading to privatization but ka style is the same. So ne ke re ba re clarify hore this thing ya transmission is still come kwabulano ke part ya Eskom, and then the community or the nation of South Africa sa tsana e tlo nna le di powers tsa hore e control he bill e tla ba khono nna mo fatshe ba khono go itse hore ba khono set up di prices hore motho mo le maskanana ka mkhwanya ka nkateng. Ya bobedi go utlwile ba re gona le nna ka nna le di panel mo nka khonang go generate motlakase. My question ke hore if ke na di panel and then ke na le surplus ya motlakase, go kgonahala hore go kgonega bjang hore ke use nka build a network ka, because I get into the 10 within the perimeter mo ke supply motlakase wa teng ka teng go na le dintlo tse 10, and then ba decide hore ba tse motlakase ko nna ebe ke re no, I want to build new network to connect batho ba ona, and then kutle ba a go tlhokege license mo a go tlhoke gore rena tshwantse ke ire. I thank you.
Ra leboga ntate. Number 3.
Dumelang everybody, ke rata dumedisa le ba ka hodimo ditulong mo.
Faki volume.
Ke nna Adelaide Moleko from Ward 10 Protea South. Re thabela ka nnete ke nna Adelaide Moleko from Protea South Ward 10. Re a utlwa system e ntšha e ba re jwetsang ka yona.
Wa tseba hore ke eng? Ke tlo go kgopela o batamele mo, because batho ba tshwantseng ba respond, I don't think ba go utlwa. I know gore le nna ne le tshwantse ba le kwa putišo ya gage gore le ska e repeata, but yeah.
Ya utlwa.
A wa manya ngwana ko tlung a ke re wa lenyolosa lentswe leo ya tsa yalo ge.
Le felletse la. Oh, okay. Ke ipita hape ke introduce gore ke mang. O ke nna Adelaide Moleko from Protea South Ward 10 Zone 2 Region G. Re a utlwa infrastructure e ntšha e utwang ya etswa. Nna ne ke botsa gore like as le se re explainile ban khavile ba di previous speakers tse ba buile mo. Nna ne ke botsa gore like infrastructure tse ka re bona ili so mo makeisheneng, are they going to renew it again so that whatever comes in new it's not going to affect, because as you know the infrastructure modificationing di senyehile tsa Eskom, and then are you going to help us to renew all those infrastructures before we can everything? Another thing, second, like as the solar lights, we've got solar lights, it's a long are they going to include it on that generator that is going to be in our places? Thank you.
Ra leboga, but we struggled. I hope le mopile okay. Ke a leboga, so ba felletse mo wrong re tlotla mo wrong number 1 ke OC mo ka yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kurisona Sengani. I represent an organization called Business Unity South Africa. Our submissions today, they're going to be in relation with the direct supply definition. In the 2022 amendment bill versus the 2023 amendment bill, the direct supply agreement excludes the generators as well as the traders. So we're proposing that they need to be included into the amendment bill. And our next submission is in relation to the fiscal bilateral transaction. And we are of the opinion that the term fiscal bilateral transaction is misleading. We therefore propose that the word should read as national bilateral transmission instead of the fiscal bilateral transaction. Our next submission is in relation to the regulating transaction definition. This definition was introduced in both the 2022 Amendment Bill as well as the 2023. And we are submitting that we do understand that the transactions are going to be regulated by NESA, but we also submit that this definition is also misleading. So I'm not going to go into detail of the submissions, but I will provide them electronically to the colleagues from the DMRE. Thank you.
Let's carry divide. Nelisa papat. Let's carry papat. Lava mamba lava papat. Let's carry divide. Anga se brief. Nelisa handle babu wagos na mu papat. So are tware netsio. Number 2.
Oh, dumela. Lebitso la ka ke nna Jerry Lengisa. Ke tswa ke le ko Ward 17 ko Western area. I'm a proud member of the African National Congress. Ke dumelana le Billy ka bophara ba yona. Moreover ka baka la gore e file the regulator matla a necessary. Party e ke batlang gore maybe ke suggest kapa ke kope ke ya licensing. Ke feel gore on the licensing it's a bit unfair to emerging companies on the basis 100 days e ba buang ka yona to say e starta immediately after the document kaofela di felletse. Ke nagana gore e unnecessary because if u checka the document tse kaofela tse di batlegalang, some of them they can be di ka kopanywa ka bits and pieces. Like for instance necessary equipment or okay no you okasi ko yona o sna financial capacity le technicality, but necessary equipment o ka nantse why batla o entse application. So all we are saying ke gore maybe if ne go kana le template e leng gore ba tla kena and then motho a kenye CK ya gage the 100 days e kale a kenye CK a kenye compliance and then a batlane le ntho tse ding, but knowing gore 100 days e kadile. I think ke mo teng fela mo ileng gore e unfair mo teng. Thank you.
Ke a leboga. I think ge re ka momamela o startile ka gore ke a dumela ra ke dumelang le bill ne ge re ka itseanyana so because sometimes ge di bill tse di approve ko parlamenteng re ke re ba di tsere rena re seo di decisions kanti some of the process tse swanang le tse di re thusha le parlamente go tseba gore na setšhaba se ikutlwa jwang ka di proposal tse di leng gona or di tsikinyo tse di leng gona. Lekole department a e bolela e startile ka gore re dumelana le yona mara ge ba ka lokisa 1 2 3 4 and then e ba gore ge go ya pele go consider wa dilo tse so e ya le tla re thusa go tswela pele re a le boganta tse jere. Number 3.
Dumela. Libitso la ka ke nna Zuga from Ward 21. Na ke na le potso before ke dumela kapa ke hanana le this bill. Ntate o ileng aba sebui sa o qala o buile ka the challenges tse Eskom ena le tsona ka ho fepela community ya rona motlakase. So question ya ka gore as much as the proposed bill ele teng mo, don't we have in this country South Africa company that has a capacity that can replace Eskom? Is it matter of force or we need to do everything that we think is right le Eskom na except if we have companies that can replace Eskom? That's the first question. The second question ya ka ke I remember the government of the ANC under leadership ya Ntate Jacob Zuma ba ile ba re tlhalosetsa hore as a country ha tse re ya go pele re tlo bana le problem ya motlakase, and there was a suggestion ya hore we need to build a what you call nuclear power station mo country ya rona, and by then ke a hopola hore nkare le value ya teng it was 1 trillion, and azang e pass. So again Tate Ramaphosa le yena ke a hopola go buile ka this issue ya problem ya motlakase wa rona haholo a tsa bona mo makeisheneng o tso toitoiwa ka taba tse tsa motlakase, hore there's a need for us to have a nuclear power station. So a ke utlwi ko pele mo le bua anything to do that nuclear power station, or it's an issue that has been rejected altogether now. So ne ke kopa hore maybe le re tlhakisetse mo. Ya bi 3 issue ya rona as badudi being the role player tsa ho ka rekisa motlakase through the solar system tse re lo bana le tsona ko mantlo. I just wonder re tla khona bana le tsona because we are unemployed by the way. So my question is gore, if only a solar system, remember rona re tswa mo culture ele me tshiding figwe ya hore ko re dulang teng, if box ya motlakase yona e tshenyahetse, there's other houses tena le motlakase tse ding di sena motlakase. We just go there as batho ba batsho ro kopa o ntšhatšisetsa phone o mplakela metsi. So ha se re qala re introduce this system ya hore re qale re rekisetsane motlakase, don't you think we are dividing ourselves more and more because re di kobo di khutswana? Just imagine makhelwane wa ka na le motlakase a ke na motlakase, then sang rekisetsa ka mo ke kopa ga ntšhajele. Thanks boetapele.
Ra leboga number 3, number 4.
Hello. Okay. Sanbonani. Good day. Mina ngusibusiso ngiphumala eWard 15. Into ebengizocela ukuyazi or ukuyizwa, according to ibill ebenisebenzisa electricity ile kango 2006. So now nifuna implementa a new bill electricity. So I just want to find out from Guinea Bantu legislature ukuthi community how is the public involvement, the public participation on that part. Okay, according to yonke message ebenilobuni enve amanje, I also heard ukuthi nikhulume ngendaba yokuthi Eskom is failing, meaning in this new bill ni invite public ekwazi ukuyenza umtlakasi or ezothengisa. Ile question engifuna ukuyazi. Then enye question ebengithi ngizoyibuza yile eyokuthi when it comes to transmission, I mean to say ukuthi umphakathi wona uzobenefita kanjani ke nizosivumela ukuthi sithengise ugesi na. Sicela ukwazi kuleyo ndawo leyo, and sizogwema ukuthi kulahleke ama cable elokishini. Sicela thina siwumphakathi nisebenzise. Secondly, then ke okunye ke sicela ukwazi ukuthi le bill le izophasa nini, izoimplementa nini. Thank you.
Ke a leboga number 4 go ra gore ka mo re feditse re tla ka mo rong e ya ka mo. Number 1.
Dumela magolo. Nna ka lebitso ke Wetsi Moloi ke tswa mo Ward 33. I have a challenge le bill ya rona as a petitioning document. As a contractual document, this document e tlo enforce batho hore ba ikenye di-contracting le motlakase le state. I have a challenge to say that before ke thola di-headsets tse nke tsang ke utlwe from translator, mme o mo o challenge hanyane ka bona la ka re ke motho a bohlaswa kapa a batlang ho motella hobane ne ke batla ho thola di-headset hore ke utlwe. Ke na le bothata le di-documents le di-procedure tsa lona. Di-procedure tsa lona di re foster hore re ithole re le di-criminal re sa batle. There was a recent program ya ESP ne etswa from ESCOM whereby there were agendas or allegations to say that batlo thola banketswe mantlu ki ho kena these subsidiary programs. And I find that really neat because of hore ke thola di-headset no nchika ntso hey o etsa dintho tse ke sa di understanding tse seng humane. So ke feel like a bill one day batho ba tla ba signile kapa ba ifile consultation e le hlokang, and the same bill it tla be sebediswa ho criminalize batho. I'm saying this because of this January I was given 400,000 rand etswang from state sa rona, and 400,000 I was forced and coerced to sign a document in Fanchelete. I got this money because of maponesa answere unlawfully. Re le fa melao, ha re le fa melao ya hore le re protect le maponesa le re tse mesebetsi ez motlakase. Lona le batla ho baleya di responsibility tsa lona ha le qeta le re fostile di documents. So what guarantee do I have hore nka khona ho le regulate kapa nna personally kapa an advocate of what is right and wrong? Because if I feel that it's wrong hore wena o tlo mplela hore this is right, this is wrong, kapa o tlo bolella batho a holo hore tshwantse ba etse so or the other thing as far as motlakase. I feel that South Africa has enough skills or intellect hore re ka ne re improve ourselves without the legislative house etlang etla, because of melao etlang ka lona ha se melao ya batswadi ba ka ba di ancestor ba ka ka batho ba tswang ho nna, ke melao ya matswantle e reng ha batswa ka ntle ba hlola ke melao ya bona be ba ntsha dibetsa ba re lematse. So it's fanciful, you can sound nice that you want to give us laws and sound that you want to improve things. What guarantee do we have, since the only guarantee is the 9 steps to ensuring things can be done? Since if you do not do these things, we can only refer to the 9 steps to the policy, to the intention. But as far as the con art or sales schematic or the marketing stance that you guys are pulling, it's fancy, but what guarantees do I have? These are old people, they can sign documents, but we as the future, as the youth, will be left with debts, with problems coming from you guys at the legislative house.
Ke le khopetse gore a re ska divideanang ne, because ale papatele everybody, ke khopela re ska papata matsogo. Le ge ka be a bolela ntwe re batlang ga kana kanang ke a le khopela ne, because ba bang a re ba papatele and re a lekana ka ma ke re batho ba golo. Yeah. Number 2,
Ke a leboga. Ke nna Gloria Maumakwe, ke tswa ko West Rand ko Ward 17. Ke na le question e one ka bili ena. Matches ki utlwisisa ebile ke rata. Number 1 question ke batla go itse gore National Transmission Company ha Eskom a setse re utlwa go thwa Eskom tsa motsere. Ki eng a setseng a entse, either in Soweto or kwa lente, because ki nagana gore once re utlwile gore Eskom o setsa monkilo ka ko gare, there is something that a entseng or a etsang. Now I'm having a problem where I come from. Ka Eskom naki, that's I'm saying ke batla go tlhalosetswa gantle gore ke understand, but ke utlwisisa ebile ke understand gore from 2006 to 2024 a lot has changed. Eskom yene o feitse ebile wa re feila. I'm saying this because ko ke dulang teng ko West Rand West ko Zirbekom, the transformer di jiwa almost weekly. Arena the transformer, then meaning arena mabone. Now ke yone ntwe ke batlang go etseba gore National Transmission Company, like ha re utswetswa di transformer, we are reporting to Eskom, and akuna next Eskom a re etsetsang yone, we are in darkness as speaking. Now ke batla itse re national ka gore o setse a le ka mogare ene o reng, so that re kgone go tlhaloganya gore bili e ya re sebeletsa or ha re sebeletse. but I'm taken by it. Thank you.
Re a leboga. Number 3.
Sanibonani. Igama lami uGift, phuma la ePhiri. Ngiyayizi indaba yebill la ekhaya, ne? But the problem being in 2022, President Cyril Ramaphosa was like, indaba yama licensing imele iphele. Kumele kube nama embedded generations. Embedded generation lapho abantu bakwazi ukutshala phansi like climate smart agriculture. Angazi abantu abaningi noma baya understand, kunaba understand abanga understand. Lapho utshala ijalo ama crops ngaphansi bese ngaphezulu kuba ama solar. Bese kuba aquaponics farming, solar smart agriculture where kune aquaponics, utshala fish, utshala ama crops, utshale nelanga. Sell back to the grid, or you move away from the grid. Now the problem is Eskom underrated. Eskom yakudala ifana ne E20. Eskom ayisakwazi ukwenza nix. Ayinamandla. Ayikwazi ukuproduce ngogesi. Now sine project ukuthi sibiza nge school based solar aquaponics farming where sifuna ukungena ezikolweni zase Gauteng. It's first time ngibona iGauteng legislator idila ngendaba zogesi. The only department engiyaziyo ku government Department of Infrastructure, DID. That's when they say they own up ama building ka government. Else communities wonke awasebenzi. And we went to all the departments of government trying to figure it out to how we're gonna able to enter to help Eskom. Mobi Eskom ayinamandla at all. We have solar panels in each schools. Yes, Soweto we're supposed to produce 1 megawatt, which is ama solar ayenza 75 or 60 megawatts plus battery system. Now, as akekho umuntu ofuna ukuthatha responsibility South Africa, where else even government. Ku government lento ingeqala today, even namhlanje. Sikhuluma kanje. Nothing will happen next. There was an exco in Essentin, Panyaza. Panyaza was there. Atufuna abantu abazosiza Eskom ngogesi in 2023. It was 23 June 17. Abantu bayile and abantu baza ngama different ideas good how they gonna help Eskom. Ngama ideas ukuthi sikhethu indaba ze load shedding. But no one came back to people ukuthi bazokhona ukwenza lento ukuthi abantu bazoproduce ugesi. I think somewhere somehow lento iba nendaba yama politics because now we are about to vote. Now you have to call the community to come together. If ever singahlala phansi and be serious about this thing of ending load shedding, South Africa can become a better country without load shedding because everything is messed up now. Now Eskom is using like 6.5 million a month to generate each generator for now ukuthi bakhona ukuthi ba save ugesi ukuze South Africa izokhona ukuvotela back to ANC. And yet MK is coming on board. They don't know what to do now. That's why now we don't have a load shedding for 10 weeks or 10 days, I don't know, or 2 months. Besicela nje ukuthi you must take community serious. Singafiki la nisithathe for granted as ngathi abantu bahluphekile, abantu abahluphekanga. The only thing that makes people to become hungry and bringing poverty into our communities. People who are working in parliament, they don't take us serious. No one is taking people serious. Even now as you are here, it seems like people they came here to look for food or something, but people they are desperate looking for employment. And let's be prominent and talk something that is prominent with people. If we are studying this thing today, abantu they can produce power from here. There's something we call willing. Google ithatha case from Northern Cape. It's been willed from Northern Cape to Cape Town. La Soweto ne Gauteng we've been taking for granted. Thank you.
I think ke be ke leka go suppressa issue ya gore le irrelevant ga kana. Re bolela ka bill. Leng go bane bill eo e tsere views that have been raised ke batho into consideration. Hence ba tlile mo go tlo consulta le lona gore ya yang kopele. A ratla go tlo politika mo ha re tsebe the different parties tse le bolelang ka tsona, re tlo bolela le badudi. Yeah, I think I'm saying to yourselves, re tlo bolela le lona ka bill. Akere? Wena o boletse akere re go file chance abuti. Ke tshilo ka re tlo bolela ga wana akere. So that is why really dumelletse gore le emise matsogo. Akere? Gone bja non re lo move ra ya ko number 4. Number 4 ola emiseng letsogo. Re tlo bolela ka bill e ba boletseng ka yona. Ntate ke sebaka sa gago.
Sanibonani. Ngithanda ukunibulisa lapha kusihlalo nani mphakathi. Ngumtlatsi from Rockville, Ward 33. Going back to legislature last year, good Bill of Rights amendiwe. When it comes to climate change, global warming, we once raised we are no longer want people to make fire because of the climate change. But to find out that during the year, since from last year, amendiwe these things, there's nothing changed when it comes to ESCOM. And then as the legislature, nishilo ukuthi ansafuni ukuthi abantu babase, ansafuni ukubona any smoke due to ukuthi ESCOM see a counter a problem. Okay, moving forward on that, ukuthi whatever that you are counting from ESCOM, it's a big issue in our community and in South Africa as a whole. Regarding on what you are sitting, due to our solar panel, by the time we're discussing about our solar panel, have you think Uguti maybe you can discuss about this as a government that you have to give it back to the community? And you said you once promised us Uguti you will meet us halfway and you will also provide for us as the community of South Africa. Why I'm saying this? Instead of implementing all these solar panels and the generations, while you want to open tenders for such things for people to bid on that thing, where the corruption will come also will count the very same problem, load shading. As a government, why don't you use the facilities as a government, like the community halls, the schools, and plant those solar panels, and then try to invent a system like DSTV, the Wi-Fi's that you are using. The government also be involved, helping the very same community that some of us who are currently unemployed, we can't afford that electricity. As now we are speaking, even if you can put the prepaid, it's going to be hard to some other community members. Why I'm raising this, instead of implementing those panels and get some tenders that are going to run and be also the crook that is normally happening, abantu abaluthi imali. Umbono wami ukuthi the government, may you please, I'm pleading with you, Miyazi ukuthi is not only the one party that you are sitting there, committee legislature, but buyelani futhi nhlanganisa amakhanda. Do this as we pay Wi-Fi, Ivuma, or DSTV. Do one thing. Ukuthi kungabi nozobandlululeka or ozoyenzani. And so the rate could be rate 1, so that you can able to afford. I don't think we have to come across this kind of a problem in 10 years, 15 years coming, repeating the very same thing into A1. Thank you.
Number 4, rekabona number 5. Kwa bofelo morong
Dumelang bagolo. Ka lebitso ke nna Boiki Sekwele. Ke tswa ke le ko Ward 15 Phiri Lawrence Nzanga branch. Bagolo o so hona le batho ba nkhavile somewhere. So a ke ba tloetsa di repeats. Re lebohela hore ho be le legislator today ka the new bill e tlileng ka yona. The speaker ole one tate ole wa o dutseng ka mola o buile ka hore le tlile mo ka hore le tlo re jwetsa ka a new bill.
And then itobula space for the new players, meaning from the township. Now my question ke hore ana re tlo supportiwa na ke yona this new bill e tlo re createla mosebetsi na, because rona ba bang re a tshowa hore mesebetsi e tlo tholwa ke ba ko dimo hape, meanwhile rona on the ground be re suffer again. I thank you.
Ke a leboga ntate. Then re feditse ka morong ene re ya rong ya bofelo. Ke startile go morago kwale ka butswa skipa se yellow. Re startile go morago number 1 ya rena ka mo ka skipa se yellow go morago.
Sanibonani bantu abadala nani bahlali. My name is Dlamini from Ward 33, Dr. J.S. Moroka branch. Let me probably start by greeting the chairperson of the portfolio committee and the panel itself. Not to be long, I've got only 5 questions for this particular
Kgopelo
panel.
nyolose volume gapenyana re struggle go utlwa from here. Thank you.
Sanibonani bahlali. Igama lami uDlamini Mshiqane. I'm from Ward 33, Dr. J.S. Moroka branch. Let me once again start by greeting the chairperson of the portfolio committee and the entire panel. I was merely saying that I've got 5 basic questions. To say that we need to speak about the township economy, because of now people are discussing matters that are relevant to the committee itself. However, Chair, the township economy remains being the biggest problem in our society, particularly in Gauteng. To say that we have seen that spaza shops are now being run by foreign nationals, which is, when you sit down and analyze the situation, you find that this is not fair to the residents of this particular province and the entire country itself. Number 2, I also wanted to ask, to say that this committee, what are the ways that the legislature is willing to use?
Sorry, ngwaneso. I think batho ba swantse ba go arabe ba rao aba go kwe gabotse. Do you mind go tla just pelenyana? Because at the end of the day ba swantse ba tlo respond. And ge ba sa go kwe, it's not helping us.
No, Chair, I was merely saying to you, Chair of the committee, to say that what are the ways that the legislature is willing to use in terms of assisting the small, medium businesses in the province? Because of, we have seen that young people are trying so much in terms of trying to start their own businesses within the province and the country itself. However, Chair and the entire panel and the House itself, the real problem is that we are having a challenge whereby certain officials within certain departments are not really doing what they are supposed to be doing, which is servicing the people on the ground. Question number 3. I wanted to also ask, to say that what are the opportunities that this particular portfolio committee is willing to share with the residents of Gauteng in terms of creating more job opportunities? Yes, we understand that the Premier is also trying very much with the entire team of the Gauteng government. However, there's always, I don't want to be seen as a member of the ANC who's speaking for the ANC. However, it's always a situation whereby people are not applying because of now they are doubting the fact that these jobs are for real. Because of now, if the Premier will say that this month we are going to release 6,000 jobs, people are applying. So when they start seeing other people being employed, that's when they start to complain, to say, no, the ANC is hiring its own cadres, of which is not true. Number 4, things over the chair. What are the chances that the portfolio committee is also willing to use in terms of matching the very same economic development portfolio committee with the TVET colleges? Because of as much as I'm speaking in this particular platform, I'm one of the students that was studying within one of the institutions that I'm going to refer to, which is the South Gauteng West College, but in Thompsonville campus. To say that I know that I know that there is a particular Department of Higher Education, which is the GCRE, that is funding these students and also making means to make it a point that the students, they do get better opportunities. However, Chairperson and the entire panel in the House itself, the main problem seems to be that our young people are really not taking the issue of education very serious. The reason why I'm saying that, Chairperson, if you can check the time now, there are majority of young people who claim, or some of them who believe that they've got skills to run businesses. However, Chairperson, when you come and check whether they are qualified to run certain business, because of why I'm saying this, Chairperson, these institutions, they teach business skills. Hence, I'm referring to these TVET colleges, because of there's this narrative that these colleges, they are being undermined, the entire country itself. Sengvala, Chairperson, number 5. The issues of illegal mining, Chairperson. What is the portfolio committee saying in terms of Amazamazama, Chairperson? Because of, Chair, these nationals, I don't want to be seen as somebody who would manje, we are disrespect. But let us be honest to ourselves as citizens of this particular province.
But yeah, I think why am I because unyaka remo protect agore alamo mamel. Yeah, I think rep up and abuti because hobulela sebaka se stele, that's what you will get. Mola voice aga go sanape e utlwagala gakala. So rep up abuti aka.
So Chair was merely saying that we need to tighten security in terms of these mines that are not now attended, because of, we know for a fact, Chairperson, when you go to West Beer itself is a problem today, simply because of those particular mines that were used previously. They are now being neglected, Chairperson. Thank you so much, Chair.
Re a leboga a re ye ko number 2. I ne go na le somebody before re fitla abuti o go gare wa bona wa skipa se stripe mo we a swantša bolela before yana, but before yana go na le somebody else. Oh, it's a so re number 3 now.
Sanmonane uthusini babthusini obuyetsakane e99. Siyabonga yonke into enikhulumayo. Kuyoba kuhle mangabe izokwenzeka. Already uEskom usinikeza inkinga. Sisuke inkingeni kuEskom. Kungathi ke mase sifika la sesinikeza inkinga. Uthathe yonke into, wathathela bogogo ama 100 unit kwa imfishi nje. Asazi ke nalokho noma kuza nemfishi ilokho nje ngikhuluma. Amen.
Hi, good day. My name is Anthony. Hi, I'm from Ward 88 in Ekurhuleni. I really like the new law that's about to be passed, and I really want to stand behind it. What I want to know is the generation of energy. Would that only be green energy that would be allowed back into the grid, or would it be any kind of energy, even turbines and coal turbines? If I can operate that at my own without a license in my yard, can I then send it back into the grid? Thank you.
Re a leboga number 5.
Good day, thank you for the opportunity. I am Reverend Franco Mkonta from Ward 88 in the East Rand. Just a few notes towards the bill. One is Eskom used to be, or is currently still is, with the changes and amendments that's coming to the bill. Eskom, the regulatory body, to curb pricing, monopolizing unsafe installations and the likes. But the same Eskom is also seemingly running the monopoly as far as power is concerned. Then we had recent cases, Eskom versus the Free State, Eskom versus Val developers, and the most recent one where Eskom actually won the case for a group of companies that were willing to supply or rather to help Eskom with the grid of supply. If Eskom remains the regulatory body, but still controls other entities that seeks to support them, then how will this bill then be of benefit to those that really wants to help South Africans? The other concern that comes that I think is not fully addressed by the bill is all the sub-companies that Eskom, or rather that exists under Eskom. But when other group of companies wants to do certain things, then they are blocked with minor legalities. And unfortunately, the bill does not really address those kind of issues. Then lastly, NERSA now being the regulatory body should also somehow enforce the regulation of the exporting of our coal to countries that seemingly wants us to have greener energy, but they themselves are not using greener energy. So let NERSA do a regulation on these export, or rather stopping of exports. Let those companies stay with their green energy, and we have our coal-generated energy. These are the items that I think also needs to be addressed by the bill. Thank you so much.
Ke le khupetse le ska phaphatsa because la re divide la go potle. Gore ba bang a le ba phaphathele and re a lekana ka mo. And then re na le number 6 now.
Sanibonani. Lo khulumayo umama nomthandazo Mdlalose obuye ward 99 eTsakane ekurulini. Ngiyayisupporta ibill mina. Ngoba kuningi esikubalo. Inkanje mayizokwenza njengoba besithembisile. Ma into ebhalwe phansi yenzeke njengoba. Akukho angikhali kakhulu.
Sorry Osaka. Aba go batho ba swantse ba tlo go araba ne. A o ka nyolosa lentswe hanyane.
Ngiyayisupporta ibill. Ngiyasupporta. Inkani mayizokwenza njengoba bekubhalwe la phansi masifunda. Ngoba mhlambe ngingabhala kanti akuzikwenzeka kanjalo. Kodwa ke into engicelayo kini baholi. Nginesicelo kanye ngiyanithuma, ngicela ukunithuma. Etsakane extension 22 izindle ezintsha seka 2016 etsakane safakelwa ugesi Eskom makafika sifakela wasidonsela ward 112 etsakane mall kukude bafaka intambo lo ntambo isiphinking sishelwa izinto ugesi ku light stove sibe on kodwa singashisi ngoba ugesi wethu emncane uyantenga babe sithembisa ukuthi bazosakhela ipower station yethu baze bayikhomba ngisho indaba bazoyakha kuze kube namhlanje siye enyakeni ka10 asikakhiwa ipower ayikakhiwa ipower station so ngiyanicela nikwazi ukuthi extension 22 iyasogola ngogesi ngiyabonga
Ibe ile wa bofelo akere bana besunga gona we re motlogetseng ene ya so re tlo fa gone bya nong sebaka I think modula stulo at over the session after or re dumele ba arabe pele che okay modula stulo taking over the session. Over to you honorable Mfikwe.
Thank you very much, Member Mkhaleltie. I just want to explain hanyane fela msebetsi wa legislature le parliament gore ke eng. Hona le babuti ba buileng ka hore public participation e etsahala ko kae. Public participation ke lona. Because msebetsi wa legislature ke ho facilitate public participation. Hore ha melao, the acts and bills and policy if formiwa ke government. Before President I sign, public participation happens. So today we are here as part of public participation. Hore lona le kenye input tsa lona into the act that will finally be produced. So hana motho tlo etsang from anywhere public participation except coming to areas and engaging the community like we are doing today. So that is why ho le bohlokwa hore le kenye di input into this bill eba abuti ba ipresentileng because then it becomes part of public participation. Hunkiwa di pono tsa lona, hunkiwa di suggestions tsa lona, hunkiwa di comments tsa lona into the bill. Rona Aretswamo, we are going to take all your comments that were directed to the bill, really into a report, represent the legislature. Legislature adopted, refitted the National Council of Provinces. Ko bata dilang ka yona nationally. Hore bill itile kitse di views tsa batho ba ko Gauteng. So when we are here, we are actually implementing the public participation that some of you were asking on. And this is the job of the legislature. This is what happens with all the bills. Haridu local legislature really nahanele. Oh, this is what should be in the bill because renahana batho ba ka batla this. We come to you. And ubani ke msebetsi wa legislature. O tlo etsahala up until even beyond elections. This has nothing to do with elections. Ke mosebetsi wa legislature. Legislature na di department tse fetang 10. All these departments and committees, di etsa di hearings so because di batla views tsa batho into the legislature. So it is not correct for us to say we are here because there's elections. Le ka tsatsi tsa elections if hona le bill e tlang, re tla bitsa community. E tlo kenya dipono tsa bona into the legislature. So Kim said that is why the legislatures are there, to do these exercises. Not because there's elections, this is not true. So I don't want us to live here ka idea ya re tlile mo because the elections di teng ko mnyako. Kim sebetsi wa rona. Up until registration huthwa ya rise, it tloela o sebetsa before the elections. This is our job. This is what we must do. So it is not true hore re tlile mo ka di legislature ka nako ya dikgetho. The bill speaks about amendments to Electricity Act e yentsweng ka 2023. Hona na buto na bua ka mining and illegal mining. We are not going to be able to answer that because it is not part of the bill. If forecast, it's about amending the bill ya electricity who etsa hore some of the issues that le di raisitseng di kgone hore di etsahale ka molao so that when the transmission operation company is done, the roles and responsibilities tsa yona are included in the act that will be finalized. So that NERSA, as a regulatory body, is able to guide some of the things that the pahamisa. Hona the company, if katatile minister aibulang, would overtake the proposals for generating amtlakasi. Ebelo through the act, musebetsi liri tukelo liri twanelo. Saba to bato etang in bato Kenyan the proposals sabona are covered by the bill. NERSA will then be able to say, CD, lima pay for company, little battle generator, marahalina license. So you can't generate electricity. And that will be in the bill. So if it is not in the bill, every time Jack and Harry could generate electricity. And some of it could be bad electricity, some of it could be good electricity. But because then through the bill that we are consulting you with, those people that will generate for us, then that way they can be held accountable if there are problems. But if then we are not focusing on the bill, the issues, we know that ESCOM is a problem. We know, and we continue working with ESCOM. But the bill is trying to resolve some of the challenges that you've said that relate to ESCOM as it is now. So, Remo, because there's a public participation, which is why the legislature exists anyway. So, again, because on the 29th of May. So the corporate will set up by 29th of May because it cannot stop us from doing the work that the legislature is supposed to do. The amendments, this is our job. As legislature equal, look at the 10th of May, the Taberiquala Party am Sebetu O Arona, re-emela legislature at that time. hore e tswele pele ka mosebetsi. So I thought let me just clarify those issues hobane nje o ka gona le misconception ya hore why re lemo re ke mosebetsi wa rona from the 2019 up until the 10th of May. This is what you are supposed to do, and after rona ba tata ba tswele pele ba tlo nkang over from corona ka tsona the public participation programs because that is why the legislature exists anyway, to help informing acts and rules and bills that are tsamaisang country. And we are happy that you come. Most of the time the bills by implementing because we don't participate. But you are here, we can proudly go and report to it. But to Gauteng, and they made their contributions into the electricity amendment bill. So that is what we are here. So sinister ideas. We are doing the job that you elected us to do in 2019. So can we allow Ntate Nelana le Ntate Joseph hore ba arabe dipotso tse ba di kgonneng ho di thola mo lona, then after bona will indicate what is the next step before re kwala meeting wa rona. Usekusele kancane nje ukuthi uvale meeting wethu. So ke kopa patience nyana nje so that re tlo kgona ho kwala hantle. Bontate.
Thanks, Chairperson. Ngizoqala because eyami imibuzo is simpler. My colleague has got the most difficult questions. So my suggestion is that mhlambi masipropose as iGauteng that this bill must make a provision for energy transmission fund that can support provinces who have SMMEs that want to participate, or individuals that want to contribute to transmission. So part of the transformation of the transmission business, if is about open kumntu wonke, we need access to resources. I think that's what is being said. There are about 4 or 5 people ababuze the same question about resources. Ukuthi nizosi-assista na. Of course, most of these things are regulations because they are operational issues. But the principle yokuthi makube khona provision eyenziwayo to facilitate the transformation of the transmission industry is a good principle. And it's in line with another government policy or strategy around what is called the just energy transition. Ukuthi we must participate in the movement of the country towards green energy. So those two, that proposal together, viewed together in a policy of just energy transition, will work well, I suggest. Then I think as the new questions could be handled by my colleague. As we note them, of course there are already instruments for the township economy that we can start using once the bill comes into effect. Because the Township Economic Development Act doesn't exclude any sector. But I think what we are saying is that if it could be supported further and it grows, it allows us to grab these opportunities as black industrialists and as township-based entrepreneurs. Ngiyabonga.
Thanks, Chair. My questions are difficult, but I will try to answer them in the most simplest way. I think, but first of it, kupa address this notion here, hore remo because of lecture I will later. I remo because of that. My job every day I can office the very same document e tlileng ka yona today. Every day ha ke kena officing. My job ke one. So it's not all after mo ke na le mosebetsi o mong somewhere. Every day I get officing, this is what I do on a daily basis. Molao gore o fihle ko president aba o sign a re ntho ke molao. Molao o tsamaya leeto le re le tsamayang ka jeko. That is section 43 ya constitution. Informa hore before molao o fitla ko president, whoever is responsible, the department that is responsible, are develop a molao or a change, must make sure that there's public consultation process. Portfolio committee has done the same last year. Never the most of it, that I was not part of it. Le bone ba tlile ka this bill. Ki NCOP now, it's like the same bill. Rona is a department, ya Rona public consultation around 2022 to 2023. So it's a process, any more constitution, or before Mulao ufita go president, it must go through this process. And for young people that are here, it's your duty to really and understand the system, informing economy ya Rona or informing the day-to-day ya Rona as a South Africans. It's not only electricity. Every sector in a the acts in a the bill. They inform on that sector or how in this sector. This is how you behave. This is not the first bill. Every sector in South Africa in the same process, in the same acts, in the same bills. Detailing those things. It's not for today only a special one. This one is specifically for electricity. Kausano got agriculture, got the same thing, but amend an existing act. So, but young people, it's your duty to educate our parents. No, you may not have had this opportunity to understand these things. But because I've got a duty as a young person in South Africa, I can read and understand and explain to you, no. How about only meeting why Billy, King? It's your duty. Rather than lately, miss the point. We don't miss the point. The reason why here is because there are challenges that affects me and you. If they are not practical anymore, why we change? What is happening currently? It's our duty. To do that or do the changes. If Mulao does not talk to that change, let's change Mulao. And part of changing Mulao again, everyone who's affected by Mulao or trying to voice his concern or his thoughts in terms of Marmo, Halga and Anna saw, it will benefit the community. However, complain a price class is too high. It's your duty as young people to inform our parents or how the price class or really high, what cost it? Because complain us understand what cost that price. It's our duty, young people, please. The politics aside and let's educate ourselves and arm ourselves, get the right information. If I ask anyone in this room or what informs the current increase, from young people, can you explain to me what causes it? It don't know that gets a better, but it's our duty and I get offended. Ha bad. But understand something and then make it to carry it's a or it can be understood. Now, young people, explain to me what caused electricity prices or high? Eh? That is your own understanding, yeah, Google. That's not the truth. It's something you Googled and you saw or you want to go a paper. Like one problem. And then le batla value from the public servant. And then hardly more, that value, it distracts against such things. Hor mutlaso, over high and low, it's not what you read on the papers. There are documents that will inform you or fitlela ware price am class ki ukana. Inform again. It's there. It's documented in a paper. Mar, sure, the very same young people that say Remo, they can't tell me which documents that. Eric the chair on that. I wanted to address that, or it's our duty as young people to stop complaining, let's inform ourselves so that even when the opportunities come, they are ready. Someone asked about what is the opportunity for young person. From my head, and go what is an opportunity? You can go and find training, you install at the PV, you'll get a job in the new sector. I get the opportunity, you want me to get a practical. If a young person is interested in the solar panels installation, there are trainings to do that. The question goes, where should I go? Then we can help you get that. But those things are there for young people. It is an opportunity that is created through this document. Otamaile, it's fine, but we move on. Chair, some of the issues, the challenges that ESCOM, we know them, and then there's I believe, Chair, there's an effort there to solve some of those challenges that ESCOM, and then surely like coordinator, you've got the right person that can deal with the ESCOM issues. In terms of Billy, but Soweto, the opportunities are there. But those opportunities, if we don't pay attention to the details, and then we don't share this information, that's where things are favor certain people, and then people like to say politicians benefit. You know something now, I can bet you, after 30 minutes, this thing, go to dustbin. Like one of the smaller things. After 30 minutes, and I drive back, this bill, it's a very dustbin. Because the so hard days in Nagare, we are just getting tick box. But these are the things we do so that our communities about that challenge, they can remember Norman. It's a hearing, but Nersa, who responsible for this thing. What are this complaint? Maybe go Nersa baga deal or if I contact someone, I can find the relevant people. That's the whole point there. Live part of these documents before the finalize, so to understand what's happening and then why really change the trial. Most of the comments I did directly into the bill, except it was in writing. I note the comments. Some of the write-ups or definitions were on the old the 2022 bill. Is correct. I agree. Bill goes through a consolidated process. Some of the proposed wordings that were in the previous version did not make it to these versions. And then where we sit right now, I say the responsibility department per se. Where this is a go NCOP, if there's still a view or a certain omissions were done, they can be forwarded through a formal submission or this must be considered again. Chair, I think most of them, they were not directed to the provisions of the bill, but they were general. But I wanted maybe to also make sure, if people don't understand, Chair, right now we are public servants, we are there to serve the people. If something is not clear, or there's an intervention but to understand there's something, there are processes that can be undertaken. Hopefully workshop and unpack this thing, if needs be. It's not something that years and then it can go and then we'll never see it. If it's not understood at the level where community feels about clear, those things can be organized, Chair. And then we can unpack it in the most practical way in a form of information sharing session. And then in terms of the last questions, I think someone asked about, can we replace ESCOM with another company? That one has to be a government policy pronouncement that we can replace it. But for now, ESCOM is the sole supplier and generator. But then that market is now so that ESCOM, it will play a major role, but there will be other players in the market. And that is meant for a balance the demand and supply. Or load shedding, we should forget about it. Remember, electricity plays an important role in economic growth. So if there's not enough electricity, you are not able to attract investment, and then investment translates to the creation of jobs. There are certain companies now, they are downsizing, others are closing because of the issue of load shedding. But if we solve load shedding, we'll start to see those companies, they operate fully and others are coming because now issue is sorted out. Then what does it do? The more investment we attract, it translates to more opportunities and more jobs for the citizens. Chair, I think I'll stop there. Other ones, I think they were just general questions. And then ESCOM issues, they can be sorted out at the relevant platform. Thanks.
Thank you very much. When we don't act or comment on the bills, we lose a munyetla, wow director what government must implement. We had people, very few, who made comments and questions on the bill. But some of other comments that were done were not directed to the bill. So we lahlela ke monyetla wa ho dictate what needs to happen for our own benefit as communities, as residents, as citizens of the country. So going forward, when we come, it might not be me, it could be somebody else. When they come and say, Nerikopa is a presentation on an amendment of a bill or on a formulation of an act, Nerikopa participate in formulating that act. So that tomorrow when these things are implemented, Haribo to Ridituakai. Because that is what is going to happen with us. When we came, a few people spoke about the bill. Young people want opportunities, people want to work. We have problems with ESCOM that all of us as consumers of electricity have. Raise on the amendment of the bill, which is not the space to raise those issues. Then we lose an opportunity. In the final act that the president will sign. So let us be aware, we literally shoot ourselves on our feet because we attend these processes and meetings to come with what affects him personally, not what could benefit the community that we live in the province, in the region, including in our own areas. So I'm bemoaning that fact. Yeah, we could lose opportunities that already dictate what must happen in the country, because hurriedly with that mind to such engagements. The bill is open up until the 22nd of April for batho ba kgonang ho ngola, ba kenya di suggestions, ba kenya what they want to see in the bill. But harilo bitsa meeting for those to happen. Ke tlo lefa email address ya abuti Thabo hore batho ba kgonang ho ngola ba kenye di comments tsa bona moo, so that Thabo a dinke ba di kenye in the amendments that we will take through the process, as Ntate Joseph has said. So email address ya Thabo ke tskosana tskosana@gpl.gov.za. tskosana@gpl.gov.za. Write your suggestions, make your comments on this bill. By the 22nd of April, Thabo should have gotten those comments, those suggestions that you want to see in the bill. Then we'll put together the report, as I said, send to the NCOP after the legislature has seen the report. Then NCOP will debate it, then present to Parliament or the NCOP itself, onward to the President signing it. Because this is what we should do for all our acts before the President signs. So you still have an opportunity. Ya o kenya ntho tse ngotsweng hore re kgone ho di fetisa ka report ya rona. Re fihlile qetelong ya presentation ya rona. Oh, okay. Ho na le batho who are asking about opportunities and other economic issues. You could ask Ntate Nelana before he leaves, so that he can direct you. The department has both GEP, has the Innovation Hub, and a whole lot of other entities that could assist in in business opportunities, training. GEP and GDDA do train young and aspiring business people and SMMEs. So Ntate Nelana could give you the addresses or the contact details where you can touch base with these entities for you to get those opportunities. So hona jwale re fihlile qetellong ya mosebetsi wa rona wa letsatsi. Ke tlo kopa mme before re tsamaya o re kwalle hape ka thapelo. Ska re ne re butsi ka thapelo. Re kope hape re a leboga ha le tlile ha re le bitsa. Re kokobetsa pela lona ba re ba hatileng menwana re kopa le re tshwarele. Ke a tshepa re sebeditse hantle fela. Ke tshepa ho tsatsi le leng ha batho ba bang ba le bitsa e se bua tshidiso le economic development le tla nne le hlahelle hobane this is how we make our work better and for the benefit of all of you. Matshidiso wa itebogela mara ne ke kopa re kwale ka thapelo pele. Ra leboha